Welcome in, everybody. I'm Will.
Uh,
No.
oh,
Because, look, we recently on the shifter celebrated. I'm stumbling over my words. I'm worked up. We celebrated my birthday. There was a wholesome moment at the end of the show where this young man here mentioned that it was my birthday. And, I then went and had a wonderful, wholesome time with my family and my girlfriend. He just had a birthday
oh no.
here soon. And first off, happy birthday.
Thanks.
And I just want to say,
It was
what you
yesterday.
did on your birthday is despicable.
What did I do?
You turned 22 years old. And the truth is, the idea of you getting older, it bothers me. Because I want you around forever. You got to stop growing up. You got to stop getting older. Because I need you to stick around.
Well, you know the bright side of this?
What's that?
You know what 22 means. It is my Ward Burton year, everybody.
Oh.
No. You can't be happy because you were in the production meeting talking about some Taylor Swift year.
I would never do that. I don't like her no more.
But I just need to clear the myth, clear the rumors, because when it becomes your Ward Burton year, the little Ward fairy comes to you at night. And it tells you, my name is Ward, and I never drove a Ford. Now, let's get to the show before I embarrass myself some more. Oh, wait. Thank everybody for all the happy birthday wishes. You know, the 14 of you that watched this show, it was a lot more of you that wished me happy birthday, but thank you so much. It meant a lot. I was not expecting that many people.
Welcome to the shifter.
I don't have a shifter. We gotta fix that.
So today on the shifter, we are going to discuss the races of this past weekend and, of course, the big stories. But we'll go ahead and knock out the big one. Toyota utterly dominated at Phoenix.
Yeah, that was we had Ty Gibbs lead the first half, then
Yep.
Tyler Reddick, then Denny Hamlin got him some, then Martin Truex got him some, and then Christopher Bell just killed the field in the last stage.
And you know what? Had I been paying attention, had anyone been paying attention, we should have known this was coming based on the offseason test last December, about Christopher Bell just doing terrible things to everybody else at Phoenix. So
Yeah.
the result, very predictable. But the truth is, I want to talk about the race itself, because was it the most exciting race ever? No. And also, did the short track aero package help? No. Because trying to fix the short track package with aero is dumb. It's not going to do anything. But we saw strategy. We saw comers and goers. We saw better cars were able to work through the field. Christopher Bell did not have great track position going into that last run, but he was able to work his way to the front. It took a long time because it was hard to pass, but I think I saw that it was like first through 30th was under the lap times were like within 0.3,
Yeah.
something like that. It was nuts. So like,
Which, I mean, it shows just how good Christopher Bell's car was, because you had guys like, Chase Elliott, William Byron, even Tyler Reddick couldn't get as far forward through the field. Guys that you saw were strong all day that got caught on the wrong end of that strategy could just not get their way back up.
yeah, the unfortunate thing is, so like, for instance, another guy who showed strength during the race was Bubba Wallace, but it was only on restarts. And the truth is, it was kind of just after the first 3 or so laps, unless you were Christopher Bell or Tyler Reddick for the first 3/4 of the race, wherever you ended up on a run was probably where you were going to end up, unless you made some sort of costly mistake, which of course Bubba, Briscoe, and Eric Jones all did get themselves into trouble on that last restart, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So the big conversation this week has been horsepower. Denny Hamlin claiming that with one call, we could up these things to 750. Also, though, Denny Hamlin claiming on the podcast it wouldn't help.
Yeah.
And now Kyle Larson just today or yesterday, I think, talked about it wouldn't be that unreasonable, like, to get these things up to 1,000 horsepower, and that it could be done. The question isn't if it could be done, it's will it be and would it matter? And to that I say absolutely yes, just not if you're looking to create a visually interesting Phoenix race. Phoenix has always been about handling and strategy. So if you're expecting door-to-door at Phoenix, that's just not what you're going to get here, and you don't need that every week.
No.
But adding horsepower to these cars absolutely would create more of a gap, more room for mistakes, and I think every driver in the field at this point wants it. It seems like most owners want it because do you think Rick Hendrick liked watching 3 of his cars, like, who could run up front all day, trapped in it was 18th, 19th, and 20th?
Yeah, and then you watch Kyle Larson, who was actually the slowest Hendrick car in this race, finished 14th.
Yeah, he finished 14th because he was just stuck there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I will say, it was a manufacturer race. I have not, in a long time, other than the plate races, because the manufacturers matter there, haven't really watched a race in a long time where it felt like it was a battle between the manufacturers. But Toyota just was the class of the field. Ford was really strong. There were some notable Ford runs. The RFK guys bounced back. Noah Gragson.
Ran well. I think he got 12th, right?
Noah Gragson got 12th, was in the top 10 at the end of the run. Of course, got passed by Truex and one other guy. Who did he get passed by? I'm trying to think. It would have been. Doesn't matter.
Oh, I think it was Tyler Reddick, actually.
I think it was Tyler Reddick. Not that it was relevant, but that's who it was. So, because Denny Hamlin finished 11th.
Yeah.
I believe. Anyway, point is, and then obviously.
Of course, you know where he finished.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I watch Accidents Detrimental, man. I like the product.
Right. All right.
And you can't even say anything. His buddy's not even in the frame on that show. Not that anybody was thinking that. Anyway, so that being said, okay, we can levy these accusations against me. Oh, listen, because look, his haircut sure is silly, isn't it? He's fixing it though, Denny. He's fixing his haircut.
Are you okay? He's engaged, man, and you're not engaged, but
she said I can mess around with the boys. Anyway, point is, I thought it was a fine Phoenix race, but that's the key. It was a fine Phoenix race, but we need to get some horsepower back in these cars. See, here's what's going to happen. It's the same thing. We're going to Bristol this week, and I guarantee what's going to happen. It's going to be a fine race, just like the All-Star race at Bristol was. But because it wasn't an absolute barn burner, people are going to pretend like, oh, well, this is boring. We should have just stayed on the dirt. And what's going to happen is I actually do think we're going to get horsepower back in the cars. I think NASCAR is eventually going to crank
it
them
won't
back
be
up
this
to
year, though.
750. Won't be this year. It'll. My guess is probably it'll be next year. And then what's going to happen is we're going to have a very similar race at tracks like Phoenix. People are going to pretend like it just didn't work because the truth is I think the vast majority of people who are asking for more horsepower don't really even understand what it would do.
Can we talk about something funny from the race? Can we talk about John Hunter missing the turn and sending Joey Logano into Corey LaJoie?
He junked Joey Logano, man.
In one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen at Phoenix. I think he just forgot to brake.
Like, it looked like his foot missed the pedal. It was hilarious. But then, of course, what I didn't appreciate, Joey Logano being mean to Bob Pockrass. Not okay.
Don't you not like... You didn't like Bob Pockrass.
Oh, whoa. Are you trying to get me killed for saying I don't like Bob Pockrass? People will have my neck, man.
Hey, man. We loved watching him dance in the foam or be in Joey Logano's race car. Will really likes Bob Pockrass.
So, anyway, that being said... if you want to go ahead and touch on the lower series because, well, actually, I'll touch on one lower series. Heartbreak for Justin Allgaier.
Yeah. Okay, so just the Xfinity Phoenix race was a really good race, but it was just like really, really chaotic. They had a big one.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting. The Chandler Smith actually set it off. He would go on to win the race, but Justin Allgaier, home track, in front of family and friends, was putting a whipping on the field there at the end and had a blown tire, went driver's side first into the wall, vicious hit, basically gifting the win on a silver platter to Chandler Smith, and also gifting Austin Hill his 4th top 5 of the season.
Yeah, and if you've got to listen to the download this week, this was apparently the first race that Isla sat down and watched with Dale Jr., so she got to get excited with him about his driver potentially winning and then get heartbroken. So
Does
Isla
she know
Rose,
there's men in the race cars? Does she know? You don't remember? She didn't realize that Junior was driving the car at Bristol?
Oh, I thought you were saying something really weird. I was like, oh, my God, she's 5.
No, we're not you. We're not you about Denny Hamlin, all right?
Okay.
And his stupid paint scheme that he drove this week.
It wasn't that. It looked fine on track.
Okay, but the photo was horrible.
Yeah, photo was
He's
pretty
actually
bad.
bringing back another Mavis brand this week, but the paint scheme looks fine. It's Express.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Did not know that. But what I did know is that, I don't know, the race weekend was fine.
Yeah, I mean, these fans just get me fired up with how they really just think about this racing.
Yeah, I feel a burning inside of me, quite frankly.
I'm mad.
Okay, well, look, I need you to lock in, because if you're angry, think what they're feeling.
They're so mad. All 14 of them.
So freaking upset.
You told me not to comment on that anymore, and I still did it. And now I'm getting more mad. And now I'm making you mad.
I'm going to need you to calm me and everyone else down right now. I need it. Do it for me. Do it for them. A moment with Matt.
Come here. Get out. I'm aggressive this week. This way he can't sneak his way back into the frame. But welcome to A Moment with Matt. This week, we're going to be talking about a short track guy. And you know what? Because everybody's just talking about short tracks and how the package is bad and all this, and it's just making me mad. We're going to talk about a guy that flipped at a short track. We're going to talk about Carl Long. There's lots of jokes that can be made about his last name, but we're not going to do it because we're better than that. He's better than that. He's not on the camera. You don't want him. I don't want him. Sorry, Will.
It's okay. I understand.
But Carl Long, most known for flipping at the Rockingham in the final Rockingham race that was ever ran, which has a great photo finish between Casey Kane and Matt Kenseth. But we need to talk about the injustices done after the 2009 All-Star race to Mr. Carl Long. Carl Long's engine was slightly too big, but see, the problem is it blew up. The engine blew up. That's why it was too big. But NASCAR was like, no, we're going to levy the largest fine in NASCAR history to a guy that can barely afford to bring his cars to the racetrack. And that's how Carl Long was not in the Cup Series again until 2017. It took them until 2017 to realize, well, it took Brian France taking a couple pills, but we're not going to talk about that.
Oh, my God.
To realize the error of his ways. It also took, we couldn't fill fields anymore by 2017. Yeah. So when somebody wanted to come race, they were like, okay. But that wasn't the end of the story. He actually had a weed brand that sponsored him for the race. And they said, no. But see, that wouldn't be a problem if mere years later with Tyler Reddick and then eventually Kyle Busch, a weed brand would sponsor Richard Childress. And because it's Richard Childress, it's okay. Guys, justice for Carl Long. He doesn't really race anymore, but MBM comes to a few races. In fact, just this year, I touched on this in one of the moments with Matt, the one about David Starr. They made the Daytona Xfinity race, and then NASCAR was like, no. Problem with your car. You're out again. And that's the only race they've attempted this year. Justice for Carl Long. Justice for racing. Justice for the short track package. God, I'm still fired up, but you know what? I hope it calms you down. This has been A Moment with Matt.
I'm really thankful that you did that for me because we do have some other topics to touch on that are outside of the racing weekend. We don't have anything crazy like we did last week, but first off,
Kyle Busch is going to Richard Petty Motorsports. Well,
yes, totally.
Yeah, guys, that's
happening.
true. That's not true. Please don't believe that.
Yeah. Come back. You're probably off frame. Anyway, okay, so first off, now we have to touch on some driver announcements. I will let you take away Dale Jr.'s most recent announcement.
Well, that would be very nice if I remembered the guy's name. Yeah, I think this is a nice signing. Maybe get a younger guy back in junior motorsports, a guy that's better than Sammy Smith and Brandon Jones. I think Sam Mayer's fine, and of course Justin Allgaier's like the Elliott Sadler of the series now. So I think junior motorsports is putting themselves to be in a great position here in a few years.
Yeah, and if you'll just grab that car right there for me. The other main driver announcement this weekend is returning for Circuit of the Americas is Kamui Kobayashi returning to 2311 Racing to attempt that race. I just wanted to prove that I have a Kamui Kobayashi.
He will be in the race. There will be no attempting. There will be no attempting to make the field. We don't field
I
fields
said
anymore.
he'll be attempting the race.
I'm out of the frame again. I'm coming back.
You are. But so Kamui Kobayashi, welcome back to the NASCAR Cup Series. And now, the truth is, I think we need to go back to Phoenix to have an honest discussion about the NASCAR Championship, not the format, just the championship race. So, gun to your head, which I would never put a gun to his head. This is a gun-free zone.
You just did it in the production meeting.
Now, don't you go spreading lies.
When I brought up
But
that
gun to
skit
your head.
that we don't talk about.
Yeah, we're not going to. Gun to your head. Where's the championship race be? And if we want to say it 3, 2, 1, do we want to go at the same time?
3, 2,
2,
1.
1. Homestead. Yeah, Homestead, Miami is probably the perfect track for the NASCAR championship race. Leaving. Now, I will say, I won't pretend to do like a revisionist history type thing. I was actually for going to Phoenix for the championship race. I've always liked Phoenix, especially because I knew how much effort they were putting in to, upgrading the place.
They sell that thing out both races. So.
They sell that thing out both races, which is why, like, I think it's fine to just have a Phoenix race and have the market there, because Homestead also draws a really good crowd.
Yeah.
Also, when you think of Miami, it's a destination. It's a big, flashy thing, but it's also in the South. It's NASCAR country, and it's probably, I don't know, like it's most indicative of the rest of the tracks on the schedule. I know some people, Eric Estep notably, want the championship race to rotate. I don't necessarily want that. I kind of want the championship race to just be the championship race, but everyone has brought up the major point, which is NASCAR's not going to let go of the championship race. It's got to be an ISC track. So, options are pretty limited, and it probably needs to be warm weather.
I thought it was really cool it being Homestead all those years, because that was the one race there, and I think the championship race, like, it should be an event. Like, I don't think they should get to go there throughout the season and learn things.
I agree.
But all the other tracks kind of build on what Homestead was, because Homestead's not exactly, like, we both know all mile and a halves aren't the same, even though it cookie cutter, yada yada yada.
Yeah, no, if you're spreading the cookie cutter narrative nowadays, you're just way behind.
Yeah, even though I wish they'd bring Texas back to the little Charlotte sister track, but but that would be the other place, the second best place for me. Even though they do go there twice, I would actually like to go there 3 times and keep the Roval race and having just another Charlotte race.
But unfortunately, NASCAR does not own Charlotte.
I did not know that.
No, I didn't realize it, but because both of our dream destinations actually would be Charlotte because it makes the most sense, but NASCAR's not going to go there because that's a ISM. Or SMI, sorry, not ISM. I always like to switch the letters around. It's SMI, it's not ISC. So really the only options are Phoenix, Homestead, the hypothetical Auto Club.
Yeah.
If that happens, which I know is the one that Eric Estep, Double E Dud, if you remember, the Double E Cup Series. Out of the groove, he's a legend in this business.
He's not going to watch, man.
I know, man, but I wish he would. He seems like a cool guy. Met him once. Very tall gentleman.
He's very tall.
So tall.
I was there, too. I came out of the bathroom after they finished talking.
Yeah, but that being said, I really hope they bring it back to Homestead. And also, the reason we're talking about this right now is because it seems very likely that NASCAR is going to move the championship race next year. This is insider rumblings now.
Homestead is the biggest rumor, just going back. And I'm assuming that Phoenix and Homestead would just switch, and Phoenix would just be the penultimate race of the season at that point.
I'm assuming what they're going to start doing is they're going to set the championship race for, like, a couple years. I don't think it's going to be switching every year. Yeah. My guess is that it's going to be like, 2 years at Homestead, 2 years at Phoenix, 2 years at Homestead, 2 years at Phoenix.
Because my dad made a really good point. It probably does need in this format to change back and forth, because like now Toyotas seem to have like the beat on Phoenix. So now if we go to Phoenix, the Toyota in the playoffs, or the multiple that are in the round of 4, one of them is probably going to win. Yeah,
but that being said, we will quickly.
Wait! I gotta go into business for myself.
You gotta go into business for yourself.
We've forgotten a promo that we were supposed to make at the end of all these, and then I forgot to say I love you to my dad. Then I got to make another promo, so give me a second.
So
I'm going into big business for myself. All right, first off, it wasn't on the thumbnail last week, but it was on the thumbnail the week before. We're not going to talk about the thumbnail shenanigans and stuff.
We've had problems, man.
It's not this man's fault either. He does a wonderful job editing the videos. It is whatever's going wrong with that stupid computer.
Yeah, I hate it.
But go follow her on Instagram. Brie Casso did make our logo. She did a very good job. She does commissions and stuff like that on there, so if you want to hit her up, you can. Also, my friend Milan is releasing a mini-series on YouTube called Marie is an Introvert. It'll be on her YouTube channel, so y'all go watch that. The first episode comes out on Friday. And also, Dad, I do love you. I know that you've been mad because I haven't said it the last couple episodes, but I promise you I love you, and we are looking forward to seeing you in a couple weeks. All right.
Now, you just like to do business. He wants to rake in the sponsorship dollars. I care about what goes on the racetrack. So now I got to ask you, who's your bonehead of the race?
John Hunter Nemechek.
Yeah, I mean, can it really be anybody else? I mean, at one point I was really pissed off at Eric Jones because of, he cut us off on the start, but it is John Hunter Nemechek.
Legacy was having a time in this race.
You could maybe make an argument that it was Denny Hamlin for like washing up under Reddick, but it was not.
No, because that didn't really affect anybody else. So
Maybe the entire 8 crew.
that's every week, man. The 8 and the 23 pit crews, and sometimes the 45 pit crews are just not very smart. Sometimes it seems.
Yeah, but
Underdog of the race for me is Carson Hocevar.
I mean, just to highlight another driver, to not say the exact same thing, it is Carson Hocevar, but I want to highlight Noah Gragson. He has started off this season so much better than I would have ever anticipated. Also,
Should be in the playoffs if it wasn't for that penalty.
I want to say another thing about Noah Gragson. We didn't consider this at the start of the year when we were talking about a sponsorship deal, which is a lot of teams like to announce their sponsors going into the race weekend that they're going to be there, because I think the sponsors, it's just better for their brand. So we were probably a little quick to jump on Noah, lack of sponsors, and the truth is, honestly, look, after 4 weeks, I know eventually he's going to have a rough patch, but Noah's probably the
in the
driver.
car this weekend.
Yeah, but Noah's probably the driver that I'm highest on at SHR right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not close. He's ran the best, and it's not close at all. Briscoe's running better than he did last year, though.
Absolutely. Like, I see some improvement in that team.
And Priest got the strategy, got up towards the front, ran third for a while, but without the strategy, wasn't really a factor. And then
Josh Berry is just going to take time to mesh with Rodney Childers, I think.
Yeah, no, I think the
Give them a
second
little
half
more
of the
time.
year, maybe on some of the short tracks, you'll see them start to run better.
Hopefully. But that being said, all around, I mean, is there a debate who the driver of the race was? It's Christopher Bell. I mean, he was the one guy who could weave in and out of traffic, make good laps in different lanes. Christopher Bell was absolutely the driver of the race. And we got another race where because like at Vegas, there were, 2-3 guys that could have won it with Phoenix. I mean, if Christopher Bell did not win that race at the end, I was going to feel pretty gross about it, to be honest. So that being said, we go back to Bristol on the concrete this weekend, so hopefully the weather's
Without the
good.
short track package.
Yeah,
They
without the
mile
short
and a
track
half
package. That's the other thing.
So the Toyotas might not dominate this thing, guys.
So we will just see what happens, but we look forward to it, and we look forward to releasing another episode of The Shifter next week talking about Bristol and all the stories around it. So if you enjoyed the episode, please leave a like and subscribe. As always, we thank you for watching. I have been Will.
I'm so confused. I'm old now, but I think I'm still Matt.
And this has been The Shifter.
I don't have a shifter. We gotta fix that.